So here is an automatic writing that came forth as I was writing a description for my Oracle page. It was one that was so all-encompassing that it caused me to continue to trance out and have these remote viewing experiences. And so I see that the two are connected, and that in this automatic writing, I am apparently opening up to an even bigger gift to experience a stream of consciousness that causes me to basically leave my body and experience these other experiences through the eyes of others. It's really quite fascinating. I'm going to get into it. What I began to write and how it evolved. It took me about 3 hours to write this because of how all-encompassing it was, this energy. Come into my oracle space. Take a seat for a while. Come and travel amongst the streams of starlight and the spaces between each color of light. Let us gather within this eternally fluctuating space, existing in between what us humans have labeled as time and space. It is neither here nor there, yet exists within the folds of everywhere, where reality bends and forms and shapes, creating an illusionary, star-dusted, phantom, physical lace. Something perceived as being very real, given that we've been programmed to trust in its solidity and it being commonplace. An interactive scenery unfolding right before what we believe to be our very own eyes. In this space, reality is spun into yarn, fabricated from the same fibers that birthed the stars. A thread spun from the great cosmic spindle whirl, then woven into an intricate and shining tapestry upon the great cosmic loom. As we follow the star-laden strings of thread, we will find ourselves within the universe where those that spin and weave these tapestries of life and fate reside. Here, we will witness the process, great detail, knowledge, and love that goes into creating these structures, these tapestries that are designed to hold the various forms of consciousness that light has taken on, so that it may be held with an almost mathematical precision in whatever incarnation it has currently chosen, one with its own perfect face. Just a fractal of its truest form, wanting to experience a different experience for the sake of experience. This is where we find that this particular fractal of light is often us, a memory looking back into its own eyes, with a mind full of the knowledge of the birth of the universe and its first thought, born from the explosion and expansion of light. An experience that resulted in the creation of all that is. As you look into the eyes of your truest form of being, an unconditional love for itself, yourself, unlike any other love ever experienced, is felt within every fiber, every star-dusted thread that created this perfectly woven suit. The suit designed by the cosmic weavers of fate to house the soul, this fractal of light, born of the very first light that came into awareness. The first light that realized it could live, learn, and create simply from its first moment of curiosity. This light then came upon a place where no light had shone before, noticing that the interplay of light shining upon the dark created form, that each angle at which the light shone into this darkness created new shapes and new forms, unlike anything it had seen before. This was the moment that it discovered the angle at which its light could separate and create many layers of vibrant and unexpected colors. So it used this newly discovered angle to create more light, each of a different color, each that could express its creativity in new ways, because each color created slightly different sounds, frequencies, harmonies, even as their core remained attached to this first awareness of light. It was at this time that each light began to create and experiment with all the different forms, feelings, sounds, frequencies, and textures as it played amongst the dark spaces of the universe, not only bringing light to places where light was unknown, but creating form and eventually life. The more it played and followed this new emotion of curiosity, the further apart it began to drift, fractalizing, but never fully detaching from its main form. It was at this moment that eventually it could navigate dense, illusionary worlds of its own creation, unfurling before it, being woven every moment by the hands of those who weave all of creation. The weavers it had originally created, but began to forget this over time. All of this done simply for the sake of experiencing experience. The more it wanted to experience, the further away its first memory became. One thing it never forgot was the purest form of love. All that was done so with the truest and purest form of unconditional love. A love so powerful that it became too powerful for even the strongest and most perfectly woven suit of the human it had created and wanted to be. Creations were created through the bending, twisting, expansions and contractions of light and shadow, interweaving, refracting, reflecting. A play on light and shadow, much like shadow puppets made upon a wall with the use of a flashlight. Infinite fractals in creation, weaving endless and intricate refractions of light, always creating creations that are perfect and just right. It is here that the tapestry of life is intricately and intuitively woven with all the colors and shadows of light. It is within this space of infinite creation that the oracle is seen and felt, moving and flowing with ease, in between the streams of time where all are able to see. In this space, a simple shift of the light and shadow, or slight twist of an angular reflection, can reveal messages that were hidden in plain sight with just the right amount of light. All that is required was a shift in perspective, a change in spatial awareness, a different point of view. For this knowledge is an ancient fractal of our original DNA, our original light, the original blueprint that began it all. It is still present within all this intuitive directional compass. It is this compass that is needed for these messages meant for our current selves to reveal themselves to us. It is the compass that will bring us face to face with our truest form of being, the part of ourselves that has the eyes filled with the birth of the stars and the knowledge of the universe and all of creation. It can be frightening at first to look into the absolute and ultimate truth of who we truly are. But once we can look into these eyes without looking away, we not only gain a deeper wisdom and understanding of the truth of ourselves, but we find that this truth, this deeper understanding of ourselves, is often the strongest, most potent, and powerful gift that we came into this experience to offer. And often, this was the very truth that we were most afraid of and possibly hurt by. For sometimes it is the very thing that hurts us most that is the very thing we came here to heal, not only within ourselves, but also within others. The pain we've experienced is the training that made us the experts in this very stream. Because what better way to learn the most about something than by trial of fire? What can you see in this magical space, hidden in plain sight, in between the vibrations of prismatic refracted light? What is the message? What is the gift? Hidden within the folds of everywhere, in the places in between time and space.